I am recording.
Oh, you... Since when?
You know, I just kind of start, and then we're in the middle of talking about chimp attacks, so...
Oh, yeah.
Are we ready? Should we just go?
Apparently we've already gone.
Well, you know what I mean, though.
I guess. But I don't understand how this is any less normal of an intro than we usually eke out.
Because I begin every single episode by saying, "Hey, everybody!" in exactly that inflection.
It's true, it haunts me. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night because I've heard it in my room. Phantom echo.
Welcome to Super Breakfast Friends Club.
The show that will come to you in your sleep.
And ask for money at the end of the dream.
Even though we know you're not going to.
Hey, it never hurts to ask, right? Hey, like and subscribe. I never ask people to do that.
No, we're not good at calls to action.
Have you considered liking and subscribing? I haven't.
It doesn't have to be this, but something.
Yeah, find whatever. Just, you know, taste made or whatever. It's August.
Yes, it is. It's hot and it's sticky.
You know what takes place entirely in the month of August?
My birthday.
That too.
I've consolidated it down to one day.
Finally.
The month of tyranny is over.
I wondered why I hadn't felt any burning yet.
You wondered why you hadn't received the call. The primordial call from the sea.
I was wondering why the moon hadn't split in twain. As it always does.
Red.
No, what I was gonna say is, what takes place entirely within the month of August is Digimon Adventure, the anime.
Wow. It's almost like we did this for a reason.
It is, but also it didn't really work out very well because I forgot that the show begins with this, which does not take place within... I mean, this might take place in August, but it's not confirmed.
It does take place in the past.
Yes, it takes place in the past of the show, which takes place entirely in August. There's no opening.
Oh, that's right. They just throw us right into a monster fight.
Yeah, but at the very end, it does play the chorus of the show's opening. So I'm going to play that here. Here it goes. Oh yeah.
That's it. That's the one I heard.
Yeah. I will probably talk about this more when we cover an actual episode of the show, but I really love the Digimon Adventure theme. It's one of my favorite anime themes ever. I'm sad that we only got to hear a version of the chorus here.
I'm sorry, are you trying to say that the American theme song is not the greatest song you've ever heard in your life?
Oh, I love the American theme song, but I prefer the Japanese one. They're very good for very different reasons.
Yeah, the American one is very good for being very bad.
Well, listen, The only part of the American one that's bad is how repetitive the lyrics are. If you took away the lyrics, it's actually a really good piece of music.
If you get like a karaoke version.
Yeah, but I don't know if one exists. I haven't looked in a long time actually, but I kept looking for like instrumental versions of it and not
There's
finding
gotta
them.
be one. Did you use the words karaoke?
I didn't, but maybe I should. This has been a very unfocused episode already.
I've been having problems focusing lately.
Well, that's just
I
the
would say for the
ADHD.
past 32 years.
Same. All right, but let's talk about Digimon, shall we?
Digital monsters.
Yes. Digital. In fact, the original release was just called the Digital Monster.
Just the one?
Yep. Digital Monster, just singular. Well, I mean, it's Japanese, so I guess they don't really have plurals or singulars in that way.
True.
But it was a virtual pet released in 1997. A lot of people will dispute whether this counts as a video game. As far as I'm concerned, it has a screen and it has buttons that make you do things on that screen, so it's a video game.
You hear that? Calculator stands. They're finally going to recognize us.
Well, shut up. Yeah, the Digital Monster, the original Digital Monster, was released in 1997. It was made by Wiz. I could not find out much about Wiz. They were a toy, video game, and animation company who seemed to mostly handle creative aspects of things and then partner with another company to actually make the thing. They created the Tamagotchi as well.
I was just about to ask about the Tamagotchi. Did the Tamagotchi ever get an anime?
Yes.
It did?
I think only movies, though. I don't know if it got a series.
No.
But there are...
Well, I think that counts as video games, too.
I've seen... yeah, me too. It counts. I've seen Tamagotchi DVDs at the in the anime section. That's HMV, so... We'll look. If there's anything that's like under an hour, we'll maybe cover it for the show.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, Wiz was closed and absorbed into Bandai in 2019. Bandai being the company that Wiz partnered with to make both the Tamagotchi and the Digital Monster. Bandai merged with Namco in 2005, so most people know them as Bandai Namco now. Or Namco Bandai? I'm never sure. It's one of those.
I think it's Bandai Namco. That sounds more natural.
Did I say Bando Namkai?
I think you might have.
Okay, well, there it was.
You heard it here first, folks.
Bando Namkai, that's what they should be called.
That sounds like a Star Wars character.
Yeah, it does.
Bando Calrissian.
So Bandai was founded in 1950 as a spin-off of a textile company.
A textile company?
Yep, they were producing metallic toys and rubber swimming rings, apparently.
Very interesting.
They spent years making toy cars and planes, and finally achieved big success in Japan in the 60s, after acquiring the license to make Astro Boy toys.
I remember that guy.
Yeah, I love that guy. I read his
I don't know
books.
much about him. Yeah, you're always talking about Astro Boy all the dang time.
Yeah, if you can find a copy of I think what I have is the Astro Boy Omnibus. It's got a lot of, like, I think it's just like a best of rather than a chronological Astro Boy release, but it's got some really good stories in it.
That sounds like a lot of reading.
It's a decent amount of reading, but you like reading, and this reading has pictures.
I like reading approximately 10% of a book and then starting another one.
But you do that more often than I do.
That's true.
I can't remember the last book I read. Wait, yes I can. It was only like this week. Never mind.
Yeah. Cut that part.
But yeah, Bandai first hit worldwide mainstream success with the Tamagotchi in 1996, a year before this.
I didn't realize Digimon was originally just a Tamagotchi ripoff.
Yeah, well, originally the Tamagotchi was marketed just to girls, and Digimon...
Oh, so this is a needlessly gendered product.
Yep, Digimon was conceived as the boys' counterpart to Tamagotchi. Which is funny because they both obviously were successful with both genders.
Right, imagine that.
Which meant that in their attempt to make one product for each gender, they just ended up making 2 successful products. But I'm glad, because if they hadn't thought that they needed a separate Tamagotchi for boys, we might not have Digimon, and I prefer Digimon of the two, so...
Yeah, I don't have a dog in this fight.
I mean, I like both. When I was a kid, I never even heard of Digimon when it first came out. Everybody I knew had Tamagotchi, and I had knockoff Tamagotchis for poor people.
Oh, me too.
What did you have?
I don't remember what it was called, but it was just like, I guess I had a couple. One of them was just a dog, and then the other one was some kind of weird Tamagotchi random blob monster thing, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it was.
I wonder if one of them was a Gigapet. I feel like that was the most common,
Let
like,
me see.
rip-off Tamagotchi.
We're consulting the internet. Gigapet? I don't think so.
Well, I had 2. One of them was called a Dinky Dino, and it was very cute. Anybody who knows what a Dinky Dino is, thank you. I think it had another name as well, but I knew it as Dinky Dino. Oh, right, that's right. Across the top of it, it said Raku Raku Dino-kun, which I assume was the Japanese name, but it was marketed as a Dinky Dino over here. I had the red one. God, I miss it. God, I miss it. It was so cute. Better than Tamagotchi, in my opinion. Except you could only have a dinosaur.
Was he dinky?
He was dinky, yeah. Oh, he was dinky. Let me tell you. And you could choose to feed him either meat or vegetables, and then he would become either a T-Rex or a brachiosaur.
Oh, I was thinking he would just die.
I mean, eventually he would.
Like if you try to force your carnivorous dinosaur to be a vegetarian and it just wastes away.
Yeah. Oh, if only it worked like that in real life. If you fed your dog only vegetables, it became some kind of plant dog.
It just turns into a bush.
I'm trying to... What was the other thing I had? It was a frog. I know that much. It was a frog. It started as a tadpole and it grew into a frog. I don't think I ever got it to a frog. It always died. But the weird thing is that I bought it on the ferry to France. So that's the stereotype.
Yeah, I guess if
But
you want to.
listen, I
Wait,
didn't do it.
was it Floppy Frog?
No, I don't think so.
There's apparently a specific Gigapet named Floppy Frog.
No, it wasn't a Gigapet. It was
Okay.
very specific because I never had a Gigapet. I just had the Dinky Dino and I had this frog one, which I'm sure was like the knockoff of knockoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like double knockoff. Is that it? That doesn't look like it. Yeah, no, it's not this Gigapet one. It's not this Tamagotchi one. There's a bunch of frog ones showing up here, but none of them are the one I had.
I remember a few years back when they released a Tamagotchi app and everyone was super excited for it. And I even had it for a little while. But then, like, after my first Tamagotchi died, I was like, this isn't even that fun. Why do I care?
I feel like that's what happens. I don't know that many people who kept playing after their first pet died.
Yeah.
It starts to become much more of a burden.
It's a micromanaging thing that
Yeah.
takes over your entire life.
I never played one on a phone. I don't think I would. It just doesn't have the same feel to me.
Yeah, but it was like $30 cheaper, so.
Oh, of course, yeah. But I need what I mean is like I need it to be its own dedicated thing for me to care about it. Because if it's just in my phone, I'm just gonna ignore the notifications.
I'm starving. Swipe.
Exactly.
The room is nothing but poop at this point.
I really wanted to get one of the... They did an anniversary Digimon that had all of the previous Digimon built into it. and you just choose an egg at the start. I really wanted to get one, but how tired would I have got of it? How quickly? Like,
Yeah.
how long did it take me to stop wearing my Pokewalker? It wasn't that long.
Oh my god, the Pogo Walker. Let's not even.
They do like a Digimon Fitbit thing now. It's like a wearable. I really want it. But would I
Yeah.
use it? I don't know.
No, you wouldn't. I've never understood Fitbits in general. I
Me
don't need
neither.
to micromanage my every bodily function.
Well, the only reason I would want one is if there's a Digimon in it. And then I'm not doing it for the fitness.
Right. You're doing it like I was doing for the Poke Walker, where you strap it to your leg that you shake obsessively with ADHD to rack up steps and get a surfing Pikachu.
I never got my surfing Pikachu. Of course, now it doesn't matter because now you can just teach Pikachu surf with an HM. So, oh no, not even they don't have HMs anymore. It's just a TM or whatever. Surfing Pikachu don't feel so special no more, but I'm okay with that.
Whatever. I put like an Onyx in my Poke Walker and it died in there because I don't know where it is and the battery is gone. RIP Onyx.
There's still an Onyx in mine as well. You can actually, there's a function in Heart Gold and Soul Silver to like emergency recall your Pokemon from the Pokewalker. So you can get it back even if you've lost the Pokewalker.
Oh. In case you did something stupid and put like a shiny Charizard in there.
Yeah. So you can get that Onyx back if you care about it.
I don't.
Yeah, I figured.
I'll catch a new one.
Anyway, let's get back to talking about Digimon. So, the original Digimon V-Pet was designed by Makoto Kitagawara, who I could not find any information about, and Kenji Watanabe, who was the illustrator responsible for creating most of the Digimon and establishing the art style. And he was inspired by Western comic book art in creating them, apparently.
Interesting.
It's basically Tamagotchi with battles. That's what Digimon is.
Yeah, we've established that part.
You can clip two of the virtual pets together at the top and then fight them against each other.
I wish you could do that with Tamagotchi.
Me too. And the monster that your Digimon ends up becoming is influenced by how well you care for it. And that's tracked in like a million different ways. If you fail to answer its calls within 20 minutes, that's like a notch on the stats. If you overfeed it, if you disturb it while it's sleeping, anytime you train it, anytime you participate in a battle, and also its win ratio in those battles. These are all things that factor into what it's going to develop into.
It's pretty advanced for a tiny little egg attached to your phone.
It is. There's a pretty big tree of what it can become because each one branches off in two different directions. So, and there's some crossover, but you know, I forget how many monsters were in the original V-Pet. Hang on, I can just look this up, can't I? 14 different monsters in it. You know, that's pretty good for a tiny little black and white dot matrix pixel thingy with no colors.
That's one more than 13.
It is. Well, if they only put in 13, it would be unlucky.
Yeah, I guess they wouldn't be able to sell it in the West.
No, exactly. Depending on what monster you want, you might actually want to make some care mistakes on purpose. Because there's always the booby prize one. Every Digimon always has the booby prize monster that you get if you do a real bad job.
Mm-hmm.
In the original Digital Monster, it was Numamon, the poop-eaten slug. But usually, the booby prize monster, if you raise it super well after that point, can become the strongest Digimon in the game. And it's the only thing that can become that Digimon.
So if you polish that turd,
Yeah.
you get the best Digimon.
It's like the hardest work, though, to get it to reach its ultimate stage. But yeah, that's everything I have to say about the game itself.
Cool.
Before this show started, we also had Digimon World, the first console Digimon game.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't really matter too much for what we're watching today, but when the show proper starts, there's a lot of references to Digimon World. There's a lot of crossover in like location and things between the show and the game. So we'll talk about Digimon World some more whenever we get around to covering the first actual episode of the show. What we have watched, what we have borne witness to this day, is Digimon Adventure, the short film.
Is that what it was?
Yes. Sometimes referred to as Digimon Adventure Episode 0. Because it's kind of a pilot for the TV series.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of Digimoning going on.
No. And you might find that that's a welcome break when we watch the first actual episode, where there, one could argue, is too much Digimon going on.
This whole time that I watched the episode, I was thinking, this is cute. I don't know if I would be disappointed to find out it's not just a slice of life about this slightly toxic family.
Some of it is. Like, that's an element of the show.
Okay.
It's not that. But yeah, this is a short film that was released theatrically at Toei's Spring Animation Fair on March 6th, 1999, one day before the first episode of the TV show aired.
Wow.
It was produced by Toei Animation, who we've already seen because they did Adventure of Dai, that Dragon Quest show we watched.
Yeah, I remember it.
They also are best known for Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon, I think. And they did all of the animations for Sonic CD, the opening and closing cutscenes that everybody loves so much.
Cool.
They're very good. They're very good at what they do. They're definitely one of the best animation studios in Japan.
Now I want to watch some Sailor Moon. Bye, everyone.
I want to watch some Sailor Moon. Watch Sailor Moon with me. I've never seen it, and I want to because I know I'd like it.
It's very dumb in the best way possible.
I didn't realize how funny it was until I started seeing GIFs on the internet.
Yeah, like I've talked about it before. I never watched Sailor Moon because I was under the impression it was just, a shallow attempt to market to girls. And I was not about that when I was a kid. I was like, just because I'm a girl doesn't mean I want to watch your stupid Sailor Moon. And now I want to watch Sailor Moon.
Yeah. It looks real good. It looks real funny.
It is. It's very dumb.
It's the same with Dragon Ball. Like, for the longest time, I was like, this is just like meathead boy show. And I think it's because we're trained to expect that from Western shows.
That's a very good point.
Because to me, from an outside perspective, Sailor Moon looked like Japanese Barbie and Dragon Ball looked like Japanese G.I. Joe.
Mm-hmm.
So I ignored them for the longest time, and then looking back on them as an adult and realizing that these are actually both very funny comedy shows. Now I want to watch them.
I know.
This is written by Reiko Yoshida, who is known for writing Studio Ghibli's The Cat Returns.
Oh, the one with the cat.
Yeah, it's a good one. She also wrote a lot for the Virtua Fighter and Street Fighter animes. And she wrote all of the short films made within the Digimon Adventure and Digimon Adventure 02 series.
I want to say it's kind of weird to be the writer of fighting game animes, but then I remember how crazy fighting game stories actually are.
Oh, they've got so much lore to them.
I know!
It's wild, especially Street Fighter.
Everyone has like a full novel's worth of backstory.
Yep. And when you read into those backstories and it's like genre crossing, like sometimes it's hard to believe that each character exists within the same franchise.
Right.
Unless the whole game is like super themed, like Darkstalkers, I feel like, is quite unified in its theming. But something like Street Fighter, every character feels like they're from a completely different franchise sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. But yeah, so she wrote all of that. She also wrote certain episodes of the shows, Digimon shows, that is. And this is where it gets real interesting. So it's directed by Oscar nominee Mamoru Hosoda. This is his directorial debut. He went on to direct The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Summer Wars, Wolf Children, Mirai, which is what he got his Oscar nomination for, and most recently Belle. He's very prolific, and he got his start here doing Digimon.
Very strange.
This is not my favorite of the things he did for Digimon either. My favorite is the next short film he did, which is called Children's War Game.
Is that the one that you were talking about the other day?
Almost certainly, but I don't remember. It's the
It was
one
like 2 days ago.
It's the one that has basically the same plot as Summer Wars.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll cover it eventually, and then I'll talk more about it, but let's not get too much into it for now. Yeah, apparently the producers of Gamera 3: Revenge of Iris, which was released the same day as this, praised this short and said that they wanted to make films like it.
This is Gamera the turtle, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah, me too. Not as much as I love Mothra.
No one can ever top Mothra.
No, I love Mothra. Mothra is my favorite Godzilla universe character.
I would say mine too.
Yeah, Mothra's cool.
Mothra is cool. I do also like King Ghidorah,
Which one's Ghidorah again?
the 3-headed dragon.
That's the one I thought it was. Okay. Yeah, me too. I also really like the wacky looking baby Godzilla from that more recent. He's so goofy.
The one that haunts me every time I try to find a horror movie to watch on HBO Max.
Maybe.
It's like right at the top, all monsters attack, and that goofy face is just staring at me.
It's
I'm like, am I
googly
at the right
eyes.
place?
Yeah, no, I love it. I just love the whole Godzilla extended universe is so cool to me. I love
What if
shit
there
like
was a Godzilla Digimon Tamagotchi?
I bet there is. I mean, there's an Eevee one.
Really?
Yeah, there's an Eevee Tamagotchi. Official Tamagotchi by Bandai, where you raise an Eevee and what you do will determine which evolution it becomes.
There do seem to be Godzilla virtual reality creatures.
Yeah, I found a couple. It doesn't look like any of them is actually... Oh god, I found one based on the 1998 US Godzilla movie. I guess that will have been like the same time that Tamagotchis were big, huh? Oh, I want a Mothra one.
Me too.
Get me a Mothra Tamagotchi.
Its little larval form looks like a baby wiggler.
Yeah, I think I just found it. Anyway, right. Digimon. So there's no opening here, as I mentioned earlier. We're just thrust right into some clips of two monsters fighting while some children cower below them. Interspersed with footage of Tai Chi just standing in a field, talking about how the first time he met a digital monster was several years ago.
And then the title slowly loads from a JPEG.
I love the funny thing is, like, so much of the art of Digimon is that it's like late 90s computer stuff, and at the time that was cutting edge, but now it's like you're watching a period piece. It's like a time capsule.
It was great. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. That's something I really love about Digimon Adventure, is that feeling of looking into our past where technology is involved, because so much of Digimon revolves around like computers and phones and stuff. You get to see so much of this stuff that at the time was current and modern, and now is like, It's like it's preserved, you know?
It's like, this is what dinosaurs considered dinosaurs.
Yeah. So, Taichi, he is played by Toshiko Fujita, who we have already talked about and heard because she also played Dai in Dragon Quest Adventure of Dai.
Oh, look at that. They're just married, aren't they?
You her toy, yeah.
Well, I meant Dai and Taichi.
Oh, yeah. Dai and Tai.
Tie-dye.
In English, he's played by Joshua Seth, who has done like a million dubbing roles, but mostly plays minor characters. I'm pretty sure he's best known for playing Tai. He also played Chaos in Xenosaga, and he plays McIntyre in one episode of Cowboy Bebop.
Wow.
He is the cartographer in Hard Luck Woman, who is constantly annoyed because his boss always gets his name wrong. I'm not going to say too much more about him because it would be spoilers. That's like the second to last episode. So there's a lot going on.
That's a great bit role, though.
Oh, it's a great bit role. Yeah. Good job getting that role. I feel like there's like no part you could play in Cowboy Bebop that wouldn't have been cool to have been there.
I'll find one. I'll play it. I'll play the worst character.
Well, I guess it depends whether we're talking about the original Cowboy Bebop or the Netflix version. I did quite like the guy they got to play Spike in the Netflix one, though. To be fair, I never watched the Netflix one, so I can't speak too much about it. But yeah, this is Taichi Yagami, whose name was changed to Tai Kamiya for the English version.
It was too foreign.
But they didn't like make it less foreign. I don't know why they changed it, because they changed it to a Japanese name. One of the things I respect Digimon for, its dub is almost completely unrelated to the original, but they didn't try to Americanize it. Well, they Americanized it a little bit, but they didn't try and say that these kids are in America. They let them be Japanese kids living in Japan.
You mean if they showed us an onigiri, they wouldn't try to tell us it was a donut?
They might. But they didn't try to tell us that Tokyo was Los Angeles.
I don't know. I just love when they try, though.
It's pretty funny. I did some digging on the internet to try and find out why they changed Yagami to Kamiya, and I couldn't find anything concrete, but I did find a lot of theories. One was that they mixed up the kanji. So Yagami became Gamiya, which then became Kamiya.
Mm-hmm.
Another is that they didn't want American kids spelling Yagami backwards because it would become I'm a gay.
That's just as crazy as the theory of, what is it, the stars on the letters of Mario Galaxy.
Yeah. You're Mr. Gay. Well, do you know about the other one for Mario Galaxy 2?
No.
If you look at the letters that have stars on them on Mario Galaxy 2's title and read them backwards, it spells out, yeah, I am, are you? And I love it.
It's the most crackpot thing I've ever heard.
But it's true, though.
I know, but it's still bananas.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, I don't believe it was done on purpose, for sure. But it's so funny that it worked out that way. You're Mr. Gay. Yeah, I am. Are you?
We can't both be Mr. Gay.
I want it to be. I want someone to have done it on purpose, but I don't think they did.
No.
I love the idea, though, that they were like, all right, shift the stars around so people shut up about this You're Mr. Gay thing when they were making the second one. And then they accidentally made Yeah, I am. Are you?
They've got a meeting going. They're like, all right, you spell this out. It doesn't say anything. It's complete nonsense. We're good, right? We're fine. We've checked it in like 5 different languages. There's nothing fishy about it. And everybody signs off. But then someone looks at it in a mirror.
Oh, no. And like the day after it hit shelves, they notice without anyone else noticing. Like, it hasn't come up on the internet yet, but one of them just happens to walk by a mirror in the office and see the poster behind them.
What have we done?
So the last theory I found for why his last name was changed involves the fact that Taichi is not originally from this show. And this blew my mind when I found it because I had no idea. But Taichi actually comes from an earlier manga called Digimon Adventure V-Tamer 01.
That rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah, it was published in V-Jump, which is a Shonen Jump spin-off magazine focusing on video games. It's had a bunch of other Digimon manga as well, but it also had a Beautiful Joe manga. It currently has Digimon World Redigitize Encode, another name that rolls off the tongue. And it's also currently running a prequel to Dragon Quest Adventure of Dai, apparently.
So did he have a different name in that?
No, same name, Taichi Yagami. So the theory is that the dub changed his name to Kamiya to distinguish them as two separate characters. But that doesn't make any sense because this manga never got translated. So why would they do that?
Nope, beats me.
But in the manga, he's a very, very different character. He has the same design, except he wears a cloak over the clothes he has on here.
So he's edgy?
Yeah. I think his personality is probably basically the same, but he exists in an edgier world. And where in the anime he's very well known for being partnered with Agumon or Greymon, the two things that we see here in this short. In the manga, instead, he's partnered with Vidramon, which was a new Digimon created for the manga.
Uh-huh.
And it later became the basis for Vmon, which is like the lead Digimon in Adventure 02.
Cool.
And Bolero starts playing.
Good job.
Yeah, it's Bolero by Maurice Ravel. It plays through most of the short.
Yeah, I was haunted by this melody. I was like, I know I've heard this before.
Yeah, it's Bolero.
Thank you. Thank you for really hammering that in.
It's funny because I think this is the only piece of music used throughout the entire short, right? Other than the credits music. So you would think it would have that, like, royalty-free feel like Hametsu no Mars did.
Uh-huh.
But it doesn't have that problem, I guess because they've made an actual new recording of it instead of just grabbing some stock music. But it's helped by the fact that the intensity of the song like raises and lowers based on what's actually happening in the short.
Yeah, I had convinced myself it was just a Digimon theme that you had sent me in the past, and that's why it was familiar.
No, it's actual classical music. It has a more famous use than this in some like classical movie. Some giant of Hollywood cinema. I can't think what it is though. So that's interesting. But yeah, it plays over a bunch of shots of Hikarigaoka, Nerima, which is a real place. It's one of the smaller cities around the edges of Tokyo that's kind of absorbed into Tokyo. And you get a bunch of code in the sky.
The air is full of digital nonsense.
As is the show.
It sure is. Every dated piece of technology is all freaking out with this digital nonsense.
Yeah. And a small girl is watching code appear on the family computer.
Do they ever talk about the whistle?
They don't ever talk about the whistle. It's just there. Yeah, she has a whistle in her mouth through most of the short.
She doesn't talk until the very end. Everything else is just communication through whistles.
She does talk a little bit because she does say the word egg in this scene.
Oh, that's true.
But that's it. But yeah, for most of the short, she really does just blow a whistle to communicate. It's kind of cute.
Sure, until it's your child, and that's all they do all day long.
I mean, yeah, if you had to live with it. But it feels like a real kid, doesn't it? This feels like something
It feels like a weird quirk.
Yeah, where a kid just like, oh yeah, she went through that whistle phase.
When does the whistle phase stop? She's 25.
Yeah, we see Taichi getting up to pee, and as he's heading back to bed, he notices there's a light in the home office, and thinks his dad is still up. But it's his little tiny baby sister.
They're both tiny babies.
They are tiny babies. He's got to be like 8, maybe 9 at this point.
Which feels very generous because he's like tiny, but this boy is working a full-time job.
Yeah. He's basically his sister's full-time carer at this point.
Yeah. He's the parental guardian. His parents have signed the paperwork, so when he goes to pick her up from school, they don't question him.
The parents are a lot more present in the actual show. I assume they just didn't want to design the parents for this, but you see a lot more of them in the show itself.
I would love if that was just the real dynamic of their family, though.
Yeah, I think because we only see one day here, and I think this day is just like an outlier. I love Ty's mom in the show. She's really cool. We don't see much of his dad, but his mom's cool.
His dad's out getting drunk, being a salary man.
It's yeah, there's an egg appears on the screen, an egg made out of code.
But then it's real life.
It's real life. It pops out of the screen. It's never explained, but it doesn't really need to be.
Yes, it does, because I want to learn how to download an egg like that.
Well, you gotta go and buy a digital monster.
I don't want a digital monster. I want a digital omelet.
$39.99. The digital omelet. That's what Ty wanted too. So the little girl here, her name is Hikarigaoka. That's Ty's sister. In English, she was renamed to Kari Kamiya. So they basically just took the he off of Hikari.
3 syllables is too much. We're already pushing it by keeping it Japanese. Just cut one of them off.
She's played by Kei Araki in the Japanese version, who played Sailor Moon for 7 episodes while the regular VA was in hospital.
Oh.
That's kind of how she got her start. She was playing, I think she was doing additional voices for Sailor Moon already, but then they needed someone to take the title role while the main actress was in the hospital, and she was the one who was picked to do it.
Good for her.
Her career kind of took off from there. She also played Sabrina in Pokemon.
Oh.
In English, she's played by Lara Jill Miller, who does a lot of preschool shows. She played Clifford in Clifford's Puppy Days. Clifford the small red dog. At that point, I guess.
I think he was still a big, small dog, though.
Yeah, probably. No, wasn't he a regular-sized puppy, but then his owner's love made him grow ridiculously huge?
Well, I'm not quite up on Clifford lore. It's been about 30 years since I read a Clifford book.
I've never read one. I just saw some of the cartoons, but I probably saw those more recently than you did.
Yeah, I guess he was a regular puppy. He was just red.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I want a red puppy that just destroys my house. She's also the voice of Henry Hugglemonster, whoever that is.
That's about to be my legal name.
She plays Lammy in Doc McStuffins.
Okay.
I've heard of that one. It's a Disney Junior show, I think. And she also played Fink in OKKO. She plays Lisa Loud in The Loud House. And she's playing Libby in The Ghost and Molly McGee. These are all things I've heard of but not watched. These are all things that are on my I should watch this list. Because I know they're all good. OKKO has a Sonic crossover episode.
Oh no.
So we might watch that.
Oh no. But that's gonna have to be after the Angela Anaconda Digimon crossover.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk about that. in this episode a little bit.
Must we?
Yeah, it's tied to this. But yeah, she's also done some live action stuff. I think mostly from like the late 80s, early 90s. She played Sam in Gimme a Break. I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
And she played Kathy on The Amanda Show. The Amanda Bynes Show.
I remember the show, but I don't remember Kathy.
No, she seemed to be a fairly minor character, but still a character.
Yeah, that's more characters than I was on the Amanda Show.
Stop trying to lie about your past. We all know.
We all know that I was Amanda Bynes.
Yeah, that name change isn't fooling anybody.
No, see what happened is I just played her while she did her thing on the side.
Oh, I see. You just put the Amanda Bynes suit on.
Yeah, I was her ghost actress. So all of that going crazy, that was all her. That wasn't me.
And all the acting was you.
Yeah, I did all the good parts. She did all the bad ones.
Anyway, now it's morning, and their mom is leaving the house, leaving these two children that do not seem old enough to take care of themselves.
She leaves them before they even wake up. She doesn't give them breakfast.
Yeah.
She doesn't give them lunch.
She's just calling
I'm not
out.
sure she gives them dinner.
She's just calling out to them that they're that she's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, her name is Yuko Yagami. She is played by Yoshiko Sakakibara, who does not play her in the main series. She only plays her in this. She also played Hairdresser Octopus in the Parappa anime.
Yes!
She was Kushana in Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind. She plays Puppet Master in Ghost in the Shell 2.0. She was the narrator for TV Asahi News Station for over a decade, apparently, and that's what she's best known for in Japan.
That's a long time.
In English, she's played by Dorothy Elias Fan, who does play her in the series. And she also played Lilymon in the series. She plays Chihiro and Sayaka in Danganronpa.
Okay.
Tsumugi in Danganronpa V3.
Oh yeah, I know her.
She also played Fujiko in The Castle of Cagliostro, but not in any of the other Lupin III stuff. Just Cagliostro. And she plays Mercedes in Fire Emblem. I don't know who Mercedes is, but
No, there's too many Fire's Emblem.
There's like 50 in each game. Each game introduces another 50.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous.
And like,
there's 50 games in general already.
And unlike Pokemon, all the Fire Emblem characters look the same. I cannot tell them apart.
No, they all just look like pretty anime people.
Every game introduces a new blue hair sword boy, and I'm like, okay, which blue hair sword boy is this? I can tell the difference between Marth and Ike, but beyond that, you've lost me.
Mm-hmm.
Chrom
and that's
is
only
one.
after many, many years of Smash Bros.
Yeah. I try. I really tried to get into Fire Emblem. I owned the remake of the first game, but I just couldn't. I tried to stream it. Usually streaming something will force me to push through even a game I'm not enjoying, but it didn't work. Even streaming didn't make me finish Fire Emblem.
Wah.
Because when I'm streaming it, I feel obligated to finish it,
Because there's one person that wants to see the end.
Yeah, but even with Fire Emblem, I was like, no, I can't. I got to, I think, the third stage, and I was like, no.
Please stop hurting me like this.
It took me an hour to get through the map, and then the boss just one-shot me, and I had to start over, and I was like, never again.
I think I would throw my computer outside.
Yes, my Wii U needed protective custody. Tai gets up, and he thinks that they had a weird dream, but Kari's there sleeping with the egg.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big egg.
It's the size of her.
Pretty much, yeah. I really loved hearing the cicadas in this scene.
Yeah.
You only hear
I
him
know
in
how
this
you feel
scene.
about cicadas.
I know. And
I think
you feel
about
different, right?
No, I like the sound of cicadas,
Oh, okay.
but I also hear them every summer.
Yeah. See, I don't.
Like, we've talked about it before, like, cicadas are the sound of summer.
Yeah, and I just don't. We don't have him here. I hear him in Digimon. That's not true. I hear him in like most anime I watch. Will have the sound of cicadas to let you know that it's summer.
Mhm.
And
Like, on a nice summer evening, you hear the late night cicadas out there, it's nice.
such a cultural difference. I guess there's birdsong here that are summer, but
Who can tell the difference?
yeah, I wouldn't be able to identify what are the sounds of summer birds. But I'm sure it's a distinction that exists. If you can hear birds that aren't seagulls, it's summer.
But you will also hear seagulls.
Oh, of course. So Ty's just like cooking for him. He's making fried eggs for breakfast.
Yeah, this tiny infant baby.
He has to stand on a chair to reach the stove.
Like,
It's,
I know that there is already just a cultural difference between Japanese and, say, American children, where a lot of Japanese children are more self-sufficient, but this feels negligent.
it feels scary. I would not want my baby child cooking while I'm not home.
Not with, like, an open flame.
No. No. Maybe like easy bake oven.
Hey, I had an easy bake oven. Those things are amazing.
Do they work?
They do work.
I always kind of assumed they didn't.
Like, it comes with its own special pouches, packets that you mix and make up. It's not like you're using actual ingredients. I don't think a 60-watt bulb could cook an actual egg,
Right.
but yeah, it does make the little powder cakes.
Wow, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I always just kind of assumed that the light bulb wouldn't really do much.
It does get hot.
I guess they do get hot. I just didn't think like cooking stuff hot. Well, you've sold me. One easy bake oven, please.
For real. Like, that is a gendered product that I am very glad girls got and boys did not.
Well, I just didn't get products because I was so poor. If you couldn't find it in the thrift store, I didn't have it.
I'm sure there was an easy bake oven in there once.
Yeah, once maybe.
But then you would have to go and buy the little packets.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really tend to have gendered toys one way or the other because I tended to go for gender neutral toys personally. But if there were any gendered toys I played with, they were always the girl ones because all my cousins were girls.
Yeah, I usually went gender neutral, but I was not about to miss out on making my own sweets.
Yeah, I never owned
Being in
any.
control of my cake consumption, yes.
Oh, did you have Mr. Frosty in America? That's what I always wanted.
We did, but I never had one.
That's the thing. The ads for the Mr. Frosty. What was it? It was like a crushed ice maker, right?
Yeah.
And then you just put some syrup on it. Oh god, I wanted
I
those
mean,
so
it's
bad.
just a snow cone, yeah.
It's just a snow cone, but my god, it's a snow cone that I could make
I
in my
know.
bedroom. Mr. Frosty, he's such fun. Makes treats for everyone. That's the ad.
I don't remember it.
You probably had a different ad than we did
Probably.
because it was a British guy saying it. So
Yeah. And we can't have our American children listening to British accents.
no, it's not the done thing.
No.
Yeah, Kari's like falling asleep at the table, but she's in a high chair, right? Did I imagine that?
I believe she is.
Yeah. How did she get in there with no adult present?
Because Ty just got up on a chair and I presumably has some kind of pulley system.
Yeah, to hoist her in. But he's making her breakfast and talking to her while she whistles in response.
Yeah.
And she's fallen asleep. She clearly didn't sleep much. Oh yeah, I guess she didn't sleep much. She was up all night staring at the computer.
Listen, that's a mood.
But she is very protective of the egg when Tai suggests cooking it. But then she just drops it on the ground.
Yeah, immediately. She closes her eyes and it just plonks down, and she isn't even aware she's dropped it.
Yeah, I'm surprised it survived that, but I guess it's a thick, hardy egg.
I guess.
She looks down for the egg, and there's Miko down there under the table. The Yagami family pet cat.
The egg has run away.
It's just rolling all over the house.
Hither, thither, and yon.
All around the living room and everything. I was actually wondering, so this is a thought that I had purely because I've watched the show and the other movies and stuff. But I was wondering if this apartment was laid out the same as the apartment they live in later in the series, because the bedroom, office, and kitchen all kind of look similar to what we've seen elsewhere. But we get a good look here, and it's very different. The living room's in a completely different place.
They've moved.
I mean, we know they've moved because that's a big part of the storyline, but I wondered whether it was a mistake here that they'd used the same design for the house.
Oh.
That's what I was looking for. I was like, did they screw up and use the house that they shouldn't be living in yet?
That sounds like a big retrospective error.
It would have been a big error, but it wasn't. I was just looking for mistakes where there weren't any.
I want to watch you fail, Digimon.
No, I love Digimon. Have I said that? This is probably my favorite anime.
I want to watch you fail, Digimon.
I don't think I actually said that, but Digimon Adventure, specifically the original Digimon Adventure, not 02 or Tri or any of that, but original Digimon Adventure is probably my favorite anime of all time. It's up there. You know, Nichijou is also another contender, Cowboy Bebop. I'm not sure which one I prefer, but it's up there. It's in my top 5.
It's in the top 5 of things that you never stop talking about.
Oh yeah, probably like once a year, Mel has to put up with me getting into another Digimon hyperfixation.
It's that time of year again.
I still haven't
coming round.
I still haven't played the Digimon game that you bought me a couple years ago.
I bought you a Digimon game?
Don't you remember that?
No.
Yeah, you bought me Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth.
Oh, that's starting to ring a bell. That sounds like something I'd buy.
I still haven't actually played it. There's actually now a new Digimon game out for the Switch, which means I'll play the previous one probably. Because that's how it works. They announced Xenoblade Chronicles 3, so I finally played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which I had owned since it came out. Which was what, 2017, I think, 2018? And I finally played it because the third one's out now.
Well, now you can finally play Digimon.
Yeah, it's time. It's almost time. First I gotta play Danganronpa. Once I finish all the Kirby games.
So it's sounding like you're not going to get to any of these probably in the year.
No, I have to finish Kirby by September, so...
Or else they come and take you away.
It's the summer marathon. I can't keep playing it when autumn starts.
Do they black bag you and drive you off in an unmarked van?
No, I'll black bag myself.
And then just kind of sit on the couch?
Yeah, and I'll do a whole stream. Just sitting quietly. With a bag over my head.
Slowly.
Hands taped together. How did he do this to himself? I don't know. How's he going to get out of it? 48-hour live stream. Me just sitting there doing nothing. Till I get bored and finally attempt to escape, fail, collapse. One of my neighbors hears the thud and calls the police.
They wouldn't do that.
They wouldn't. One time a fire alarm went off in the neighboring building for 2 hours. Nobody bat an eyelid.
Not even the fire department?
They finally did when I called them. But
I thought like those systems were hooked up to something to let somebody somewhere know.
that's some American futuristic fancy pants garbage nonsense. No, no,
That
we rely on the kindness of strangers over here.
I might just be thinking of public schools, or maybe
It's
that was just a threat. Like if you pull the fire alarm, they are gonna show up and you are gonna go to jail.
maybe. No, I think in a school they're like obliged to. Maybe in a public school it's hooked up because definitely when we pulled the fire alarm at school, the fire department showed up. But no, I went out because this alarm had been going off for ages, and I ignored it at first. And I had headphones on, so I couldn't hear it most of the time. Then I took my headphones off, and I was like, "It's been like 2 hours. Is that alarm still going?" And I went out. I went outside and looked at the building next door. There's smoke coming out of one of the apartments, and there's people in the windows of the other apartments, but they're just chilling. There's a guy
Of
on his
course.
computer. There's some other people on the bottom floor who start watching me with interest as I call the fire department. And they're like, "Oh, what's he doing?" And I'm like, "Your building's on fire. It's been on fire."
To be fair, the fire alarm went off here a couple weeks ago, and it had gone off the day before when I was at work, and Kevin told me about it. He was like, "Yeah, they were just doing some electrical work and it went off." So the fire alarm goes off again. And I'm like, it's probably just electrical work again. And it's going off. It's going off. I'm playing Fatal Frame. I'm like, maybe I should go outside. So I slink into my bedroom to grab my keys, and then it stopped, and I didn't have to go anywhere.
Wow.
But I would have burned alive.
Yeah. We've become so accustomed to alarms going off at the wrong time that it's like a boy who cried wolf situation now.
Yep.
I hear a car alarm going off. I don't immediately think someone needs assistance. I think, Jesus Christ, turn that thing off.
Right. Somebody accidentally hit their car keys, and now it's going off for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Once somebody's burglar alarm in our old neighborhood went off for 2 solid weeks,
What?
and nobody did anything about it.
I would have smashed the car.
No, burglar alarm on
Oh, their house.
Yeah.
Then I would have smashed their house.
I think we went looking for it because it was like a couple blocks away from us, but it was just on the edge of our hearing from our house, so we could just slightly faintly hear it when we didn't have any music on or anything. And we went looking for it, and like, imagine living right next to that, and it's going off for 2 weeks.
No.
Nobody did anything. Except I bet they complained about it constantly.
Wonder what all that noise is, huh? Sure would be nice if it stopped.
And they'd just be like, Jesus Christ, aren't they going to do anything about the fact that their house has been broken into while they're away?
If they don't do something about that alarm, I'm gonna go in there and burgle them myself.
At that point, you might as well. Like,
It's the perfect smoke screen.
yeah. Oh, everyone was doing it. Oh, where are we?
Digimon.
So the egg rolls into the bedroom, and Kari and Tai both follow it, and it hatches.
Yeah, it turns into a little black fuzzball.
It does. We are not told what this is throughout this whole short, but this is Botamon.
Oh, are we not gonna get any elaboration on that?
Not really. This is in the original VPET. This is your starting monster.
There's a rude spider.
No, it's like a little black bear head.
No, on my computer monitor.
Well, tell it to not.
I'm trying.
What's rude about it? Is it giving you the finger?
It's giving me 8 of them.
Oh wow, septuple bird.
I smushed it.
Aww. Was he that rude?
He's pretty rude.
Okay.
The problem that I have, normally I let spiders be, but when it's in my bedroom, when it's on my things,
Yeah, we've discussed this before. I understand.
it's
I
my personal space.
I don't have too much of a problem with spiders. I think it's like a little bit too cold for them here, so they don't tend to hang around. But I usually, when I see one, I usually just let it be because my thinking is spiders usually just chill out in corners away from me. At least the spiders we get here do. But what annoys me way more is flies.
Yeah.
So I will let the spiders hang around on the promise that they will take care of the flies for me.
Yeah, we're on the first floor, so we get the occasional bug. Mostly spiders, house spiders, daddy long legs. So if they want to fight and kill all the other bugs, I'm fine with that.
I found out recently that a daddy longlegs is something different here than it is there.
I think I knew that and then forgot it.
Yeah, we've probably talked about it before, but over here a daddy longlegs is a crane fly, not a spider.
That's strange.
It is strange. But they do have long legs. I just don't know whose daddy they are.
I prefer our daddy long legs. They're so dopey.
Oh, ours are too. Crane flies are super dopey. They just like fly around. They always seem like they don't know where they are or what's going on. Even if you swipe at them, they just lazily like float away, just like wee.
See you next time, friends.
Anyway, so Botamon's here and it immediately does some facehugger nonsense.
Yeah, I was very confused by that.
It does it a lot, even after it evolves. This
It
is
does it
its.
as a sign of friendship.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it like kissing them? Is it hugging them? I don't know. That's what I was trying to figure
Siphoning
out.
the life out of their face.
So Ty rips it off his face and it hides under the bed. And Ty crawls down there and throws his goggles at it. I really liked, this is some animation nerd talk now, but I really liked the motions that the kids had. Throughout this whole thing, they feel so much like real kids. Just like throwing stuff around.
Yeah, hobbling around.
Yeah.
Their stumpy little limbs.
The animation's fantastic, but I expect that from Toei, so it's not impressive, Toei. No, it is. It is. I'm kidding.
Toei's gonna come for you now. We're gonna get a cease and desist
I'm never gonna get hired.
for this Japanese animation company.
Yeah, Ty tosses his goggles at it and it spits some bubbles at him in response. Which,
Angrily.
that's the only attack available to most baby Digimon. They just
Bubble?
spit bubbles, yeah. At this stage, you're not supposed to be fighting with them, you're just supposed to train them, so the only attack they have is useless.
Well, that's gonna be a problem for that when I throw it in a battle.
I mean, you can. That is an option. It's just not going to go well, probably.
You need to level up faster. I need you to evolve pronto. I need to EV train you.
Yeah, you're not supposed to fight with baby Digimon. You're supposed to train them at like dojos and training facilities and stuff. And then once they evolve to the child level, or the rookie level as it's called in English, then you can take them into actual fights. The rookie level in this case is Agumon, the orange dinosaur it becomes later.
Mm-hmm.
That's its child level. So Kari bonds with Botamon by blowing her whistle at it, and it blows bubbles back in response.
But these are not angry bubbles. These are friend bubbles,
They're the same bubbles.
which is what is confusing.
Because, I mean, the angry bubble, I guess the only difference is the speed at which he blew them. But the whole room fills up with bubbles as they keep blowing at each other.
All of Tokyo fills up with bubbles, and everybody sees the power of their friendship.
Well, all of Hikarigaoka, at least.
The entire continent.
The entire continent of Tokyo. So, Kari feeds Botamon chocolate, right? I think that's what she was doing.
I think I might have missed that part because I was taking notes.
She's feeding squares of chocolate to it, I think. Waltai suggests names for it. And he comes up with Puyo Boy, Bota Bota, which is pretty close to its actual name, Gomakuro, and Black Devil.
That's right, and there was like a translator's note that those actually meant something.
Right, the subtitled version we were watching. I forget who subtitled it. I'm sorry. You may recognize your work by what I'm about to say. But it explained... I forget what it explained about Gomakuro. Oh, they're sesame seeds. That's right. So Gomakuro are like a kind of sesame seed. Bota means coal, apparently. And it said that Puyo was probably a reference to the Puyo Puyo games, but I don't know. Because Puyo is just an onomatopoeia for like something that moves in a gelatinous fashion.
Me.
But yeah, Puyo Puyo is like the best known use of that onomatopoeia, I think. And the Puyo in that are little slime creatures that in the Puyo Puyo games you match up in a puzzle game. But originally, they were just the slime monsters in an RPG called Mado Monogatari.
Digimon!
Digital monsters.
Digimon are the champions.
Did you know that? Or did you just make it up?
A little column A, a little column B.
This is where the phone rings. Remember the phone?
No.
The phone rings.
Yes, I do, because I have a note that says the phone is full of digital Satan.
That's right. Ty runs to get the phone, but there's nobody there. It's just scrambled sounds and dial-up internet noises.
Oh, somebody's using the internet.
Yeah, we're old enough to remember those noises.
Those horrible, horrible sounds.
There's going to be a lot of people listening to this who never experienced that.
Well, then you're going to have to put that in.
Oh yeah, here's some dial-up internet noises. So whenever you connected to the internet, you would hear that first while it was connecting from your modem. And then, once it was connected, if anybody picked up the phone in the house, that's what they'd hear.
Yeah, because back in the day, you needed to use your phone line to connect to the internet.
Yeah, and you couldn't... It couldn't function as both a phone and the internet. Were you limited to like certain times of day you were allowed to use the internet?
Kind of. I would ask beforehand. I was like, are you expecting any phone calls? Of course, how does one anticipate a phone call? But that was just my way of asking for permission to use the internet.
I was only supposed to be on the internet for an hour a day. I was on it more than that.
Yeah.
I often didn't ask permission. Sorry, Mom, I know you listen to this show. A very common thing to hear in our house was I would suddenly my internet, because if someone picked up the phone and the phone picked up noises, it would confuse your internet connection. So whatever I was downloading would suddenly stop downloading, and then Mom would angrily shout up the stairs because she wanted to use the phone.
I think I was limited to an hour, and it you could strictly control that through America Online.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You probably could with our internet as well, but I was the only person in the house who knew how to set anything up. And the only computer in the house was in my bedroom. It was my computer, so...
So it's just She was asking to have her phone line tied up.
It was my grandmother that gave me the computer, and my uncle that set up the internet for me initially. But then I was left
Oh,
as
so
the
this was a coordinated strike against your mother.
yeah. Then I was the only person left in the house who knew how any of it worked, or had any interest in using any of it. So it's my parents. My mom is not a technophobe. My stepdad is, and for that reason, she is kind of limited on what technology she's allowed to use.
Because otherwise, there's a whole process. They have to bring in a priest.
They've adapted to tablets though. They have iPads.
That's good. My father is not a technophobe, but
Oh, I
he
know, yeah.
is cheap. And so he has only recently gotten a tablet as well. So when you say that, I can't even make fun because I'm like, yeah, my dad too.
Oh, I don't have a tablet.
Me neither. I got a laptop instead,
Tablets are for old people and young people.
which we are neither.
Yeah. So Tai comes back from the phone, which wasn't working, and he discovers that in his absence, Botamon has become a Koromon.
It's a pink rabbit head.
Yeah. Koromon is the next stage of Botamon. In the original Digimon, a Botamon will always become a Koromon. There is no branching there.
Mm-hmm.
But Koromon is just another baby form. It's the baby 2 form. Or in English, it's called the in training form.
In training for what? It doesn't have arms or legs.
Yeah, it's just a head. It's cute though.
Yeah, it's be cute.
Koromon has that like ugly cute thing going on, right? Which I
Yeah.
love. It's a really ugly design, but it's a really cute ugly design.
I probably wouldn't buy a plush of it, but
I
I could see them
might.
making one.
I might buy a plush of it. Although if they will never make a plush of it because it's an extremely niche Digimon, but the one I would most want to buy a plush of is Petit Meramon. I will send you a picture of it. If anybody listening wants to look it up, it's Petit as in the French word for small, and then Meramon as in Meramon. But I'm going to send Mel a picture of it because this is my favorite baby Digimon, but it's a minor character, so they will never make a plushie of it.
Oh, I've seen that before.
Probably because I've shown you it, yeah.
I would 100% guarantee that, yes.
I love it. I love it. It's my favorite baby.
It's my favorite, baby.
It's a good one. But yeah, Koromon, I'd probably buy a Koromon plushie if I was offered one. But anyway, they all like stare in disbelief at the fact that it's become this new thing. And then it poops on the floor.
Yeah. Which is a total alpha move.
It's very game accurate. I'm sure I told you this, but like 90% of Digimon World is trying to get to a toilet before your Digimon poops on the ground.
That's what I play video games for.
Just every now and then that poop icon will appear above its head and you're like, oh geez, where's the nearest toilet? Can I get there in time? Will any other Digimon ambush me on the way and get me into a battle, which will mean that my Digimon poops? I don't want another Numamon.
Just have an army of Numamon.
You know, if you do get a Numamon, you can evolve it into something that you can take around to clean up all the poops that have been there.
Oh.
Because it becomes Scumon, who eats poop. Because
Problem solved.
like all of your poop mistakes will be there. They become a permanent feature of the landscape.
Poop mistakes.
Yep. Tributes across the world to all the times you failed to get your partner to a toilet. So Kari takes Miko's cat food to give to Koromon. And this is where he does all the like... It's clear from his face that he's not attacking them, but Tai thinks he's attacking them.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't figure out like if he's trying to give them a kiss or what he was doing. I think he's giving them kisses.
I guess.
I love the animation of Koromon eating the cat food.
I love the animation of the battle that we see between the cat and Koromon.
Right, so Miko shows up looking for retribution. It's a long fight, right?
Yes.
Goes on for a long time. He chases, like, Koromon's running away the entire time. He doesn't fight back at all. He runs all the way around the entire bedroom, smashes the whole place up. And Tai and Kari just kind of watch it happen for a long time.
Yeah.
Like,
But if you've ever tried to intervene on a cat fight, it's not possible.
well, once Miko has Koromon cornered, Tai decides he's gonna intervene on it. But it takes him a long time to reach that decision.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does. It does go about how you'd expect it to go when you try and stop a cat fight. Tai gets scratched, Koromon gets scratched.
Yeah, and the cat drags the bowl.
Yeah, it's really funny. Miko's basically just a comic relief character that shows up occasionally. So, but yeah, that's Miko dragging the bowl away as like the most human thing that Miko does. The rest of the time, it's acting very much like a cat. I mean, I guess this isn't unlike a cat, but it's just funny to me how human that felt of Miko just being like, "This is my bowl. I'm taking it back."
Yeah. Usually it would wait for a human to move the bowl back for it.
Yes. And I guess some time passes and the sun is setting now.
Yeah, it's been a whole day and then mom comes back.
Yep, she left before they woke up and now she's finally back.
But she bought cake.
She did buy cake. Yep. And she's making curry for dinner.
Oh yeah. Oh, that made me hungry.
Yeah, me too. Luckily, we don't actually see any anime food, otherwise I would have had to have eaten something. But because of the talk about food, Kari starts talking about food with Koromon, and Koromon starts talking back.
Koromon says words now.
Yeah. Kari doesn't seem at all fazed by it, but Tai sure.
No.
She has a little crisis, I think. But yeah, Koromon is played by Chika Sakamoto, who played Mei in Totoro. That's like the main girl, the second main girl, the smaller of the two girls.
Right.
She also played Milda in Grandia, and she plays Spectre, the villain of Ape Escape. She also played the three duck boys in the Japanese version of Kingdom Hearts, Huey, Louie, and Dewey.
Three.
All three of them, I know. That's talent. All three identical voices. The English role is split between the forms. So this is like a difference in how the Digimon are handled between the Japanese and English versions. Because in the Japanese version, the actor that plays the Digimon is assigned by individual. So like Tai's Agumon has the same voice actor across all of its forms.
Even when it's a big giant dinosaur?
Even when it's a big giant dinosaur, yeah, it still has the same voice. It's still played by Chika Sakamoto. But in the English version, each form has a different voice actor. Which means that in the English version, I'd say that the voices feel more appropriate to the monster. But it also means that each monster feels like a different character, which they're not meant to be in Japanese. They're very much meant to all be the same character, So I've got a lot of voice actors to talk about for English Koromon.
Oh boy.
In its Bottomon form, it's played by Peggy O'Neill, who played June, Davis's sister in Adventure 02, and Susie, Henry's sister in Digimon Tamers. So she is typecast as the sisters of main characters in Digimon shows. As Koromon, it's Brienne Sidal, who played Tsukasa in Dot Hack. That's the main character of the anime.
Oh yeah.
She also played Mythos in Tales of Symphonia, who I think was the villain. It's been a while since I played that game. Agumon is played by Michael Sorik, who plays Whisper in Yokai Watch.
Oh yeah, I remember Whisper.
Yeah, he's the one who
Yes, I know.
becomes Will Smith.
Yes, I know.
He also played Squat and many Monster of the Week characters in Power Rangers. Gwendol in Fire Emblem. And the biggest surprise for me is that he played Edward Van Helgen in Curse of Monkey Island. He is one of 3 pirates who joins your crew, and they perform a song called A Pirate I Was Meant to Be, which is one of my favorite moments across the entire Monkey Island series.
Less singing, more sailing.
When we defeat our wicked foe, his ship he will be bailing. If you try to fight us,
You will get a nasty whacking.
if you disrespect our singing,
We will feed you to a kraken.
A pirate I was meant to be. Trim the sails and roam the sea.
All thanks to Agumon.
Once you set sail with them on your crew, they all just start singing, and you have to try and end the song to get them to start working. Which you have all these different dialogue options, and you have to pick the one they can't rhyme to. But there are like a million choices, and every time I get to that point, I always pick all the wrong choices first because it forms this entire 4-minute song. It's great. It's really funny. Because all of your lines are just you telling them to stop singing and get back to work. But whatever way you say it, they find a way to rhyme to it.
Stop, stop, stop!
The brass is what will polish and the deck is what will mop.
And that's how you evolve Agumon.
Greymon is played by Bob Pappenbrook, who apparently is the voices of all of the natives chasing Indiana Jones at the start of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
He also played Rita Repulsa's brother, Rito Revolto, in Power Rangers. And he played Rocky Hammerhead in Flint the Time Detective, which I've seen maybe twice. Rocky Hammerhead, I'm pretty sure, was Flint's dad, who had, for some reason, been transformed into a hammer.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, Flint the Time Detective is a weird show. So anyway, they all introduced each other to each other, and then Koromon gives them some more kisses as a sign of friendship.
Whatever it is he does.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's kisses. Then he poops on the floor again.
It was very touching. That was a sentimental poop.
It was. The timing was great.
It was.
The timing is really funny on the poops. Yeah, because both times, actually, there's a long silence, like a pregnant pause precedes it, and then just a poop sound, and then Tai picks it up and you see the poop underneath.
友達の印あ、またうんこしてる。
But now it's nighttime.
It is. And nighttime is the right time for electronics across the neighborhood to go haywire again.
Right, the air still bristles with digital nonsense.
Kari wakes Tai up with her whistle, which would annoy the hell out of me.
Yeah,
He's okay with it.
he's probably used to it.
He's just concerned. He kind of wakes up with a start because he's like, "Oh, what's happening?" Which also, it might happen to me if someone whistled me awake.
I like to think that I would just punch them in the face and then wake up.
Something's up with Koromon.
Yeah, he's freaking out.
Yeah, he is. It's kind of scary. He's like mostly covered by the blanket, and there's just the edge of his eyes peeking out, but we can only see the white.
Yeah, because they don't want us to learn the secret of how to digivolve.
I already know the secret.
It's not friendship.
No, it's not. It's time plus care mistakes. Oh, this is where Dad comes home drunk and very excited about his children.
I don't know that excited is the right word, but he's sure doing a lot of screaming about it.
He's very enthusiastic about them. Like, he gets off the elevator singing their names.
Yeah. And these children had previously been asleep.
Yeah. I'm assuming he's been at work, and then after work he went out drinking with his boss.
Oh yeah,
The-
as is the way in
Japanese
Japan.
pastime, yeah. It's a Japanese sport.
When he walks in, the mother even comments that he stinks of alcohol.
Yep. And she's like, do you know how late it is? But he wants to go, he wants to say goodnight to his kids. He wants to give them a goodnight kiss.
Loudly.
And as he's stumbling into the house yelling about this, Koromon is evolving into Agumon. A much bigger than usual Agumon.
I was gonna say, I don't remember it being that large.
Yeah, it's much bigger than it normally would be, but it's Agumon nonetheless.
I was gonna say in spirit, but it doesn't really seem to have much of a spirit at this point.
No. It's very animalistic in this form, in a way that it isn't usually within the show. So Taichi is holding the bedroom door closed to try and stop his father from coming in and seeing this big dinosaur that just wrecked up the bunk beds.
And soon to wreck up the window.
Their father, Susumu, is played by Hiroya Ishimaru, who does not play him in the series, but he is known for playing Koji Kabuto in Mazinger Z, Ultraman Taro in the Ultraman series, and Dracula in Castlevania Rondo of Blood.
Yeah, Dracula!
Is Rondo of Blood one of the ones you've played?
No,
Okay.
that was that the Super Nintendo? That doesn't sound correct. I have to look now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it was a later one than that. I think it might have been a DS one, maybe.
No, it wasn't DS.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, it's one of the PC Engine ones. That's why.
Okay, yeah. That's one that I think I've always wanted to play because it looked like it was starting to be more Symphony of the Night, but never got around to it. Actually, no, it doesn't. I'm looking at the screenshots. Which one am I thinking of? Maybe a little bit. I don't know. I get very confused by the Castlevania.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have had much opportunity to play this one from the looks of it because it was only available on the PC Engine and the PSP.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, there's an English release coming out.
Oh.
It's been announced that there's no date yet. And it's included along with Symphony of the Night in the Castlevania Requiem collection for the PS4.
I would buy Symphony of the Night again for the millionth time.
Well, if I hear about it coming to PC, I'll let you know.
I mean, it probably will be out on consoles and stuff too, right?
Right now it's only listed for the PS4, but I'm sure it'll come to other stuff.
PS4?
Yeah. That was in 2018, but I'm sure it'll come. I'm sure it'll come. I think all the other Castlevania collections eventually made it to Steam, so...
I just love Symphony of the Night, man.
Apparently, Symphony of the Night is a direct sequel to Rondo of Blood, so I assume they play about the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's also, to get back to Hiroya Ishimaru, because I wasn't done, he's also the official Japanese voice of Jackie Chan.
Yes. This man's a legend.
He's also the Japanese voice of Lionel Hutz from The Simpsons. Susumu does not have an English voice because he doesn't appear in the dub of this.
Oh.
He's been cut entirely.
That's weird.
Yeah. I mean, like, this scene still happens with Agumon bursting through the bunk beds and smashing out of the window. Just all the shots of their dad has been removed.
I mean, I guess they don't really add to the plot, but they certainly add to the drama.
They add urgency, yeah. They give Tai a reason to be holding the door closed.
Yeah.
But as Tai's holding the door closed, Hikari opens the window for Agumon. And Agumon is still too big to fit through it, so he smashes through the wall trying to get out.
And they live several stories above the ground.
Oh, like at least 10, right? It looked like.
Yeah. And Agumon just leaps down.
He just leaps down with Hikari on his back.
Like this tiny little infant baby.
Yeah. And the smashing of Agumon through the wall, they don't get away with that. Mom hears it.
I would hope so.
But
there's quite literally a battle going on.
It's funny, like, we hear her hearing it, but, like, we don't see her. She doesn't seem to do anything to stop Tai from just running out of the house afterwards.
Right. Her infant daughter is out in Tokyo on the back of a dinosaur. But she doesn't seem bothered by it.
Well, she doesn't know that. She doesn't find it out.
She doesn't find out that Hikari is missing.
She probably does. We don't know too much about what happens in the direct aftermath of this, other than that they move away.
I need a Digimon episode 0.5. I need clarity.
Yeah, Taichi runs to follow them. But Agumon's just kind of wandering the neighborhood looking at stuff.
Yeah, smashing up a vending machine because it vends some Satan nonsense.
This is a really quiet scene with like no dialogue, no music, just the ambient sounds of a neighborhood in the middle of the night. And I thought it did a really good job making this place feel like almost otherworldly. You know, the way a neighborhood does feel in the middle of the night, if you're used to seeing it during the day when it's bustling. And
It felt somewhat liminal.
yes, I really liked it.
Yeah. Like
he's staring at these vending machines, and the only sound is like the hum of the vending machines, and it got across what it was trying to very effectively, I think. And yeah, he's just kind of inspecting stuff, and he smashes the vending machine with his claws, but it feels like he didn't mean to. It seemed like he was just like inspecting it, and it just kind of buckled under the strength of his claws.
Yeah. It felt like he lightly poked it and it just crumbled.
Yeah. And all the cans fell out. Kari trying to pick up all the cans also felt like a real kid moment, you know?
Right.
She's picking up these cans, but there's too many of them, so she's dropping them.
That and she's kind of focused on the wrong thing.
Yeah. But Agumon starts walking away, so she drops the cans and follows. And he nearly gets hit by a truck. I mean, he's just kind of watching the cars. Each time a car goes by, he's like running to where it was and watching it go. Until this truck almost hits him. And he's not super happy about it.
No. I mean, I guess I probably wouldn't be either, but would I breathe fire about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know you.
Yeah, I would.
But yeah, he spits a fireball at the truck. He misses and hits a phone booth. It scares the shit out of Hikari.
I can't imagine why.
I don't think she knew he could do that. Meanwhile, Tai is following the trail of destruction across the neighborhood.
He can see fireballs shooting through the sky because now he's shooting at a helicopter that's flown by.
Yeah, well, right before that, where he's watching that stationary bus, this is another moment, like the bus, it felt really real to me. Like I've been there, I've been in that moment where I've just been watching an empty bus waiting, even though nobody's getting on or off. It has to wait there. It's the middle of the night, and then it just pulls away. I don't know. It did something to me. It gave me some kind of weird nostalgia for a moment I haven't lived. But
This is very weird nostalgia.
but he doesn't like it. And once it starts driving away, he gets ready to blast it. And Kari's trying to calm him down and stop him. But luckily, at the last moment, 2 helicopters fly by.
Saved by some random helicopters.
Yeah, he misses the helicopters, but they act as a flare for Tai, who just starts heading that way. And I guess, so there's 2 ways you can interpret it. And up to this point, I had been interpreting it as Agumon is just in an unfamiliar place and is like scared. But what happens next is that we see all of the electronics going nuts again, and the sky starts lighting up again.
Yeah, my impression from this was that Agumon is propelled to fight by whatever all this digital nonsense is.
Yeah,
That's why I thought he smashed the vending machine, because it was freaking out with all the digital nonsense.
Right. Nonsense.
I was gonna say a different word, but then I didn't remember what the word coming out of my mouth was.
I know that feeling all too well.
So sometimes we just gotta smash syllables together until it resembles English.
It was fun, because usually I'm the one doing that. And it was fun to hear it from you for once.
I do it all the time. What are you talking about?
You-
Those
you-
moments haunt me because I walk away from these podcasts like people are going to think that I have never spoken human language once
Oh, I
in my
don't.
life.
I don't usually notice them. I would consider you the more eloquent of the two of us in this show, and I think the people listening would agree.
That doesn't mean that I don't very often butcher a word.
I guess I usually just assume you did it on purpose.
Yes. Yes, that is the correct answer. It's all on purpose. I'm playing 4D chess.
What I was starting to wonder at this point is if he was sensing that something else was coming, but he didn't know what it was, so he was like looking for trouble.
He sensed that the moon was a giant egg that
Yeah.
birthed a bird.
Yeah. Well, because that's what it is. Is that now?
Do you mean is that real life?
That's what. No, I mean, is that what happens now in the show? And it is.
Oh, I thought you meant is that real life because I'm pretty sure it is. We just haven't figured out how to hatch it yet.
Oh my god! What if the moon just hatched one day and something came out?
That sounds like a Lovecraft.
I'm surprised I haven't seen anything where that happens already. I'm sure there must be something.
I've read something. It wasn't the moon. It was a distant planet, Hellstar Remina by Junji Ito, where this thing comes flying from deep space, and it's just a planet that is a mouth.
I really need it to be the moon.
Yeah, sorry, but it ain't.
The moon is the only thing that does it for me. Because it's always there, right? It's always there, this benign, friendly, familiar thing. What if it hatched?
Well, then I believe that would make quite the rounds in the news.
Yeah.
I believe that would be somewhat unexpected.
I've got to stop writing things on our show that I want to
Stop writing things with our mouths.
Yeah, I've got to
that we
stop
didn't publish on the internet.
sharing our IP online for free.
We're not doing it for free. These ones cost big bucks. These are behind a paywall.
All right, let's do it. Let's write this moon story and put it on the Patreon.
But what does it hatch into?
I don't know. You're the monster one. I'm just the guy who says things.
I wanted it to hatch into a very, very small and gentle frog.
Slightly smaller than an average frog. But the entire moon was its egg.
Well, yeah, because see, it didn't come out as a tadpole. It was already a frog. It's a special boy, and that's why it had to have the moon as an egg.
Now this just sounds like Chinese folklore.
Just because a monkey came from a rock.
That's exactly why. Yeah, we see kids around the neighborhood looking up at the sky. Where the moon egg is. It's above the neighborhood and everybody can see it. And it cracks open and a big old parrot drops into the city.
That's exactly what it is, too.
It's not big enough to justify the size of this egg.
No.
Right?
Which is why my friendly frog is not so crazy after all.
No, I guess not.
But I guess it's a little bit crazy because this bird has hands and I'm uncomfortable with that.
It does have hands. This is do you want to take a guess at what this Digimon's name is?
Squawkomon.
Oh, you got a little bit too creative. No, this is Parrotmon. Parrotmon, as far as I can tell, was created specifically for this short film. It has appeared in things since, but isn't very important. It just exists to get beaten up in Hikarigaoka.
That's sad.
It's funny because I remember at the time when this came out, there was a lot of mystery about what this parrot was, because we're not told its name.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there. There's just a parrot Digimon. And there was this real feeling that it was going to be important, but then it never was.
You would think if a monster came out of the moon That it would be important.
You would think. But no, this is really just like the gate between the digital world opened up and a random monster came through it.
Oh, I gotcha.
There's no like plan in play here. This parrot is no evil mastermind or anything. It's just a random monster that wandered into the real world by mistake.
It was just the closest thing when the portal split open and the vacuum sucked it in.
Yeah, basically.
So this guy's like, whoa, I was just trying to go to the store, man.
So, of course, Agumon immediately attacks it.
Of course.
Tai gets there right on time and tries to get Kari to run away with him, but she's trying to get Agumon to stop the fight. And Parrotmon destroys the bridge that they're standing under.
Paramon is kind of the worst.
It's a real bridge. You can go there.
Or you could,
Well, no.
until Paramon destroyed it.
In real life, it's still there. Is that a paradox?
Oh. Oh, I see.
Like, what's the deal? Are you trying to tell me that this short film is lies?
I think what they're trying to tell us is that we're in the Matrix.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it because I had deja vu yesterday.
Oh man, I've been getting that a lot lately. They've been making a lot of changes, probably putting that bridge back.
Oh, yeah. I bet if we'd have recorded this yesterday, we would have been talking about how the bridge was gone. Anyway, all the electronics are going nuts again. And it's because Agumon has now become Greymon. He's real big.
Yeah, he's just a big angry dinosaur.
Yeah. And he fights with Parrotmon.
Parrotmon and his bird hands.
Yeah. When they lock hands, I get upset.
Me too.
Kari's crying. She doesn't like the hands either.
Everyone's crying because Parrotmon does an ultra zap and what's his face? He dies.
He does, but not before he does some pretty brutal damage.
Yeah, he does break his beak.
Yeah, he stabs his horn right through the lower beak. And rips off one of his wings, too. I had to watch it again because you can't see it that well, but that is what happens. He tears his wing off.
Oh no.
Yeah. Parrotmon advances on the corpse. While Kari tries... Well, no, Kari just cries. Tai's trying to talk him awake. But then Tai kind of gives up, and Kari starts weakly blowing on the whistle, because that's all she knows how to do. And then Tai grabs it and blows real hard on it, and Greymon wakes up.
That's how you bring people back to life. It's 3 parts friendship, 2 parts whistle.
Exactly. The whistle is the most important part. Don't call any medical professionals. Just blow on a whistle. If they don't wake up from that, there's no ambulance that could help them now.
Other solutions that exist but are not as effective include a recorder and a harmonica.
No, the harmonica's just going to make them sad.
It's just going to make them dance, but they will not come back to life.
But it does work because it's a whistle, so it works, and Greymon wakes up. And Tai, this is like the one moment of Tai actually issuing a command to his Digimon. He tells Greymon to fire, and he does. And the fire just kind of destroys Parrotmon and everything.
It turns him into giant yakitori.
Yeah, it does. And then the next thing we know, the sun is rising. And Kairi is calling out for Koromon, but he is gone.
Yeah, just missing.
He has returned to the digital world. They don't know
He
that,
got
but I
sucked
do.
into the moon?
Fine. I don't feel like explaining it because I don't fully understand it.
Okay.
No, there are like portals in certain places there are gates to the digital world, but it's never really established what that means or what they are. There are just
Okay.
like mysterious places where you can cross over between the two worlds.
Is
And
that where the Veil is weakest?
I
The
guess
border in
so.
Densokyo is weakest?
I guess so. If Gensokyo was inside of all the computers.
It is.
Because that's what, I mean, it doesn't really matter for this, but that's what the digital world is. It's all of the data across all of the computers in the world have made up a world inside of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And where they're all connected by networks, that's like, it's become a huge world. And in there, data has formed into living creatures, which are the Digimon.
To be fair, Toho started as a PC 98 game, and it exists on computers.
Yeah?
I'm thinking this is a shared universe
I
with
mean,
Angela Anaconda.
I mean, technically, per the rules of Digimon, yes, there should be Toho stuff within the digital world. It wouldn't be exactly the Toho world because a lot of the data would be interpreted in ways that we don't expect. But there'll be stuff in there. Some of it will
Is that
survive.
how you explain the weird fetish art?
What weird fetish art are we referring to right now? Are you talking about Angemon?
No, I was just talking about interpreting the data in ways we don't expect.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Angemon, weird fetish art. I guess that's the end.
Yeah.
Tai narrates us out, tells us that's why I'm here now, referring to the fact that he's in the digital world in the series. We get some nice animation over the credits of him in his 11-year-old form, just petting his Greymon.
Yeah. Giant dinosaur just laying there.
Yeah, and it plays the chorus from Butterfly by Koji Wada, which is the main theme of the series. And then it's done.
Hooray.
Now, let me talk about the dub for a minute. And
Okay.
it's going to be a hot minute because there's a lot to say about this.
Oh no.
Let's play the theme song.
The Digivolution is up and running. Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know what's coming? A Digi Destiny starts today. Let me hear you say. Digimon, Digital Masters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, Digital Masters, Digimon are the champions. With Digi-Will and Digivice in hand, there's a Digi-Dynamic force in Digiland. When the Digi-Past and Digi-Present collide, time to Digi-side. Digimon, Digital Masters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, Digital Masters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon! Digimon. The Digi-Dudes will Digi-Rule with Digi-Ability and Digi-Tool. Save the world from a Digi-disaster. The threat from the net makes the Digital Masters. Digimon, Digital Masters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, Digital Masters, Digimon.
So, like the series, this short was dubbed by Saban Entertainment, who are best known for things like, well, they're best known for Power Rangers, for sure. They also did Samurai Pizza Cats. So much like Power Rangers and Samurai Pizza Cats, Saban took a very liberal approach when it came to localization.
Gotcha.
It's got its charm. You can see where people put a lot of love into making it.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the original intention is mostly lost. It's not really a translation. It's more of its own thing.
Yeah.
Where 4Kids liked to fill silences in Pokemon with their own music, Saban liked to fill any silences with extra dialogue.
Oh no.
Usually one-liners. And characters talk a lot faster in the dub, with actors often audibly struggling to fit in all the lines because they're speaking like 3 to 4 sentences for every one sentence the original had.
Sounds cumbersome.
Yes, it makes it feel like Japanese is able to fit in a lot more words in a shorter time, and they're struggling to fit in as many. But that's not the case.
That's a clever lie they've told us.
It's just that they are adding in a million lines that weren't originally there. The dub version was written by Jeff Nimoy, who also played Tentomon in the show. That's that bug one we talked about before.
Yeah.
He also wrote for Bobobo Bobobo.
I know that guy.
And he apparently also wrote for the Stitch anime. Did you know there was a Stitch anime?
I did not know there was a Stitch anime.
There's a Stitch anime. It's a reboot of Lilo and Stitch where instead of landing in Hawaii, Stitch landed in one of the Japanese islands.
Oh.
And met a Japanese girl instead of Lilo. It's weird. It's kind of weird that it exists. I haven't watched it, but, maybe I should. Oh, and it was also co-written by Bob Buchholz? Buchholz. I want to say that's...
Bob Butthole?
I want to say it's pronounced Bob Buchholz. I don't know. It's Buchholz.
I'm not going to give it a shot.
It sounds like Buchholz to me. But anyway, he did some additional voices in the Digimon show, and he also wrote for Bobobo as well. This short film was not dubbed originally. It was released in the US on October 6th, 2000, like a year and a half after the original version of the show. So where in Japan they got this before they got any of the show, in America and other countries, we didn't get this until a couple months after Adventure 02 had started airing in the US. And when they finally dubbed this, they edited it and combined it with the next movie, which is called Children's War Game, and a third movie for Adventure 02 called Hurricane Landing Transcendent Evolution, The Golden Digimentals. That's a long title.
They just squished them all together?
They squished them all together to create Digimon the movie. The original versions, if you took all of them, would be 2 hours and 10 minutes long. But Digimon the movie is only 1 hour and 28 minutes, which means that across all three of them, there are 42 minutes of cut footage.
Sounds like they did it some justice.
Yeah, 42 minutes is a long time. That's like an entire episode of a drama show.
It sounds like they gutted all of the content out of it.
They largely did. They also changed a lot of stuff because they're combining these three originally unrelated films into one story. They're having to change a lot to make them relate to each other in some way. Because they didn't present these as 3 shorts. They presented it as one continuous plot.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, there's a lot of shots that were removed or shortened. Way too many for me to list. But, the most notable thing is the fact that Taichi's dad is completely cut, I think. Doesn't appear...
That's the most noticeable?
No, it's just the most easy to talk about. Like, most of the fight with Miko and Koromon is gone. Most of the section with Kari chasing the egg around the apartment is gone. But, Tai's dad, an entire character being cut, that's...
They just poofed him into the void.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know he exists if he wasn't in the show. Also, Kari is given a lot of lines in the English version.
Well, they had to cram in 18 million of them.
Yeah, considering in the Japanese version, all she says is egg and Koromon and that tiny little bit about cake. In the English version, she narrates it.
Oh.
And her narration isn't just at the beginning and end like Tai's was in the Japanese version. She narrates throughout the entire thing.
That night started like every other one. Tai was making his 4th trip to the bathroom.
Kari, what are you doing in here? You know you're not supposed to be playing with the computer.
But it's doing something weird. I was right. As usual, Tai came up with a brave plan of action.
In case you're having trouble keeping up with all the content they cut.
Yeah. She still mostly just makes one-liner jokes, though. But she was made the narrator instead of Tai, probably because this released while 02 was airing. And in 02, she's one of the main cast and Tai isn't, so...
Oh.
The scene where they're blowing bubbles under the bed, where she's blowing her whistle and Botamon's blowing bubbles, has been edited so that instead they are performing the US Digimon theme song together.
Bow, bow, bow. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow.
Oh my god.
The scrambled sounds when Tai answers the phone are replaced with Sora, another character from the show, accusing Tai of throwing up in her hat.
This is Sora. Mimi told me you were the one that threw up in my hat.
There's something wrong with her phone.
And then he hangs up on her.
I think that is an incredible change, and it should be put into the Japanese version.
It is. In the Japanese version, Sora and Tai don't know each other yet. Sora is one of the kids we see watching the fight from her window, but she and Tai don't know each other. She's actually the one who says, "that boy," when Tai is blowing the whistle. She sees him and she says, "that boy." That's Sora.
That boy that threw up in my hat.
Yeah. In the dub, they changed that line to her saying,
Come on, Tai.
to really hammer home that in the dub they know each other, which is very funny, considering a change made to the first episode of the show. So, in the actual show, by the time of the first episode in the Japanese version, the kids do all know each other because they're at school together now.
Mm-hmm.
The English version changed it so that they don't know each other. But then they changed this so that they do know each other.
It's almost like they weren't putting a whole lot of thought into it.
Oh yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Do you want to know what my favorite change is?
Yeah, I guess.
You know the scene where Miko attacks Koromon?
Yes.
It is still in there. It's drastically shortened, but it is still in there. Where the Japanese version just plays Bolero throughout the entire thing, the English version plays Rockefeller Skank by Fatboy Slim.
What?
Yeah, I don't know why they played that there.
Because that's what the song was about, Mike.
I would love to see an interview with Fatboy Slim where he's like, "Oh yeah, I wrote it for that. I wrote it for the Digimon movie."
Been a long time Digimon fan. So glad it's finally getting dubbed. I've had to watch it in the original Japanese, of which I am fluent.
I thought this song really captured the mood. The dub adds lines for Agumon, Greymon, and Parrotmon. They all only growl and roar in the original, but in the dub they say things. Greymon actually introduces himself after he evolves.
I'm Greymon now.
Oh.
So Tai and Kari use the name Greymon, but in the original they only ever call him Koromon, because that's all they ever know him as.
Yeah, because he shuts up.
Yeah. Yeah, all of the other kids watching the fight have extra dialogue added to imply that they know each other already.
So they can later forget.
Yep. The dub also implies that this Koromon is different than Tai's Koromon. In the original, that's left ambiguous, but it's later confirmed in Adventure Try that it was the same Koromon. So this is the same one that he meets later when he gets to the digital world. It's his Koromon. Like, I don't know why it would be another Koromon.
I don't know, maybe because there's many Koromons in the world.
There are, but why would Tai get a different one than his Koromon?
Because he didn't go back until several years later, and his Koromon was dead.
I mean, I think it dies in this fight.
See? I'm not crazy after all.
No, I think it dies here, but when a Digimon dies, it just returns to its egg, and then it can hatch again. So. But sometimes they lose their memories. I'm not sure. It's unclear. There were also 2 songs added during the fight, which weren't there in the original.
Were they both by Fatboy Slim?
No, they were both original, unfortunately. I would love more weird, unfitting pop music.
God, I would love if Rob Zombie's Dragula was playing.
No, they played the Digimon theme for the beginning of the fight.
You can be whoever you want. Big guy.
Nova Flame!
But then when Greymon wakes back up again, they play an original song called I'm Going Digital. It's pretty bad.
Oh boy.
Hang on, let me find it. I'll send it to you.
Oh no.
I'm going digital, completely digital. Now I'm invincible. Let's all get digital.
I don't know what you're talking about. This song is great.
You like it?
No. It's like really unpolished pop punk.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Most of the movie's soundtrack is ska, and I like a lot of it, but none of it's in this. But that's not the original stuff. That's they went and they got some real ska bands and stole their music and put it in the movie. So this movie was the subject of a lawsuit from the Screen Actors Guild.
Oh?
The actors involved in the dub weren't paid residuals for reruns because actors dubbing foreign movies aren't entitled to residuals, apparently.
Well, that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, yeah. But the Screen Actors Guild argued that the changes made to the Digimon movie were so extensive that it no longer counted as a foreign movie dub and was now an original movie.
Did it work?
I couldn't find out.
What?
I couldn't find out. I tried. I think they must have settled out of court or something. But I couldn't find any more about it. I could only find articles saying that the lawsuit was happening, but I couldn't find any about the results of it. I hope
It's a good
they
defense,
will.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I kind of think that they should be getting residuals for reruns, even if it was just a foreign movie dub.
I mean, yeah, but since apparently that wasn't the way it worked.
Yeah. No, I agree. Digimon the movie is a different movie than what we watched. It's something else. To the point that if we ever do our show where we cover movies, I think we should cover Digimon the movie separately from us covering this.
Okay.
Legacy-wise, yeah, I don't think that there was a massive legacy for this short in particular. It obviously, once the series starts proper, this short is involved.
Yeah. It's a prequel.
Yeah, it's a prequel. The events of this do come up. There's an episode, I think about halfway through, because the kids all meet each other at school, and they mostly don't remember what happened here. And
In the collective fever dream they all had.
yeah. I get, they remember it, but it's, been pushed down, I guess. Because of trauma, maybe. The destruction in Hikarigaoka is blamed on a terrorist attack. And the families of all the kids move away. Most of them end up in Odaiba, which is where they meet again at Odaiba Junior High. Eventually, when they spend a while trapped in the digital world, when they come back to Tokyo about halfway through the series, they spend some time trying to figure out exactly why they in particular were sent to the digital world. And what they realize while trying to figure out what it is they all have in common, they realize that they all originally lived in Hikarigaoka. So then they go out there looking for answers. And that's when the memories of these events start coming back to them.
Repressed childhood memories.
Yeah. Digimon Adventure itself, the show, I would say probably has had the biggest effect on the overall legacy of the franchise, of anything that's been made. But this short in particular, not so much. So we'll talk more about the legacy of Digimon Adventure when we cover Digimon Adventure for real.
And that's a threat.
And that's a threat. Maybe it won't be until next August. We'll see.
That's a year from now. We might be bored.
So what did you think of this? What did you think of this short?
I liked it. It didn't tell me a single thing about Digimon. Like I said, I was more invested in the family drama of these tragic parents.
Yeah, it's very cute. It's definitely like, it's very slow burn. It's very slow paced and relaxed until the very end when action suddenly happens.
Yeah.
But it's that way by design. So it doesn't feel like it's dragging, at least not to me. It just feels like it's taking its time.
It's cute. I liked it.
I like it less than the actual show. I like it a lot less than Children's War Game, the other short that this same guy did, which is fantastic.
But it's a prequel.
But yeah, it's a prequel. So this is just like a taster. This is a stinger. This is them going...
It's a pilot episode.
It's a pilot episode, and they don't want to put anything in here that's going to detract from the actual pilot. Or, the actual first episode, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So the actual first episode does a much better job letting us know what Digimon is. And before, when I said... you said that this one doesn't really have that much Digimon in it. And I said that the first episode might have a little bit too much Digimon in it.
Mm-hmm.
The first episode of the actual show introduces us to, not even counting like random enemy Digimon that they encounter, it introduces us to 7 main character Digimon who then all evolve to their main form.
That's too many Digimon.
So that's 14 main character Digimon in one episode. And I love Digimon Adventure, but the first episode is not a very good representation of the show because they're introducing us to not only 7 human children, but also 14 Digimon.
It's too many Digimon. I'm going to say it right now.
So we don't really get to know them at all. But then it makes up for it by the next 7 episodes after that. Each episode is dedicated to one of the kids and their Digimon, so we get to know them better.
They just gotta force it all down our throat at once, and then we'll digest them separately.
Exactly. Yes. It's the best way to take this medicine.
As a suppository.
Yep. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. I guess we're done with this.
We finished it. It's going into the ground now with the rest of the shows.
We will come back to Digimon again. But for now, we've covered the first Digimon show released. And I'm satisfied. We've satiated the digital hunger demon.
I have never met this demon. I'm not confused. I'm not convinced. I'm tired.
No, I liked it. You can find us at patreon.com/superbreakfastfriendsclub if you want to find some special bonus content. What kind of bonus content can they find?
You can find the documents, the incriminating papers. You can find the map that might lead you to the diamonds, but might not. It might also lead you to a scary mansion where you fall into a pit.
Where else? Coffee.com/superbreakfastfriendsclub. That's another place where you can support us monetarily. Momentarily.
I mean, yeah, it's a single transaction as opposed to the blood contract you sign on Patreon.
Yeah, that's better for some people. At Twitter, you can find us at sbreakfastfc, where I couldn't get the name I wanted because it was too long.
But you get the picture.
Yeah.
If you squint your eyes and you hum real loud, maybe you won't see the monster.
You'll see the monster. You'll probably see the monster. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, and then it just kind of went off the rails for a little bit.
Yeah, it sounds like our show.
Excuse me, our show is very relevant, and never once have we talked about a bee detective.